Good afternoon, my name's Rob Buckley, and today I just want to do a quick presentation, the first part that will lead to a tutorial on an application I've written called SymStudio. Now SymStudio is actually a development tool for a package called Symbos, and Symbos isn't a normal Windows application or whatever. It's actually an operating system, very much like Windows itself, but is written for what we would consider retro computers, being computers that are nearly 30 years old. So it's quite an amazing achievement, and you can actually see Symbos running on the screen here within an emulator on a computer called the MSX2. Obviously you can see at the time this was a brilliant computer. Now it's a retro computer. Obviously it's got quite limited screen capabilities, limited RAM, limited processor. The processor inside the MSX2 is called a Z80, and that ran like a thousandth of the speed of the computer you're probably watching this video on. So, and it also has like a thousandth of the memory also. So the fact that this runs like it does is an amazing achievement. Symbos also runs on another computer called the Amstrad CPC, which is the computer of choice for me because that's what I grew up with as I was a child. So Symbos will actually run the same application on multiple computers, which is an amazing thing. Obviously, when I saw this for the first time, let me just show you. This is the emulator for the MSX2. It's called Blue MSX, and it's fantastic. The emulator of choice for me is this, and this is for the Amstrad CPC, which is a completely different range of computers, obviously. And I'll just show you. I've got a snapshot of, and that, as you can see, is Symbos on the Amstrad CPC. You can see it's actually even more limited in that it's got less colours and less resolution than the MSX2, which I think shows how amazing Symbos actually is, that it can run across machines of such varying graphical ability and do it so well. Anyway, let me just get into my little application by closing that down and putting that down as well. I was just going to show you a few more things on Symbos actually. So let me just show you, like this. Obviously it's a full multitasking operating system, very much like Windows. As you can see, it's got two applications open at the moment in the control panel and the Pac-Man. So at the bottom there's actually another one sitting in the background. I can just click on that, and this is called Sim Commander, which is very much like Windows Explorer. So we can just go across. I've just highlighted another thing there, an application called SymAmp, which if I start up, it's just a music player, and so if I now load a file, open play file, opens a file, I click onto the music directory, I just run down. I don't know any of these really, so I'll just say let's go Octopus, click play. Oh, that's a bit weird. Let's just find another file. It's called Carpet, and I'll play that instead. As you can see, some retro 8-bit music there. I'll just stop that now and I'll put that down. Right, what I actually wanted to do, because I was so impressed by Symbos, because it is a major achievement to run on a Z80 like this, a multitasking operating system. I actually wanted to write applications for it myself. Obviously, being a Z80 programmer from back when, I thought I could. So, but it turns out writing applications for Symbos isn't absolutely super easy. So I thought what I'd actually do is create a package on the PC which makes writing applications for Symbos really simple. And let me just there we go. I've just got my little icon there. I'll just click on that, it comes up. Let me just move it into your screen view there. There we go. And what you get there is just a basic empty form, and this is like a form that you'd see in Symbos. So I can move it around, create the size, I'll change the caption on there, call it my first application, for instance. I can create odd little things on there, so let's put a frame, quickly, a frame there. We'll have a button 1. It names all the buttons and what have you as it goes, and automatically calls that button 2. Let's put a label in here, so a label there. Let's say center that. Let's make that a different color, so that, let's make that like that. So there we go. Right, so if I click on button 1, I can create a bit of code that just does that, and I can change, if I go back and have a look, that's called label 1. So if I click back on button, go into my code again here, I can just say label 1 text equals you pressed button 1. There we go. Label 1. Oh. Right, if I just go back out and do the same with label 2. Button 2, I meant. Label 1. And now I just need to do that, so it will update once I've just noticed I put ub rather than obj in there. So that's a really simple program. So if I click back there, basically what this is going to do, it'll just come up and it'll say label 1 there, but if I click button 1, it should change that to I press button 1. If I click button 2, it should change that to I press button 2, and that's just my first little application. Right, what I'm going to do, I will just compile that. Currently it's compiling to, it's set to compile for the Amstrad CPC. And it's called that. Right, so if I open WinApe again, my Amstrad CPC emulator, and I select the disk that is created, which is that. As you can see, it's created that in there, so I'll just connect that so that the emulator knows it's using it. I've got a little setup here quickly that gets me quickly into Symbos, and you can see that this I've got automatically set up, so it will automatically run because this is for testing purposes for me. So if I click OK, that little application will come up straight away. There, I didn't make the box movable, so it's just stuck in the position. So if I click on button 1, you press button 1. I'll click on button 2, you press button 2. There you go. That's my first little application written in a demonstration of SymStudio for Symbos. It gets a lot more complicated, and hopefully in the future I will explain a lot more and show you all the things it can do. But until then, hopefully you'll come back and see me on the second video. Okay, thank you.